Hello, what's up guys? My name is Aviral Prakar and I'm a cadet pilot of Indigo Airlines. Currently I'm doing my training in the L3 Harris Airline Academy, which is situated in Sanford, Florida, United States. And she is my friend Jessica.
Hi, yes. I'm Jessica and I'm currently also attending L3 Harris Flight Academy in Sanford. I am currently on a program that's letting me pursue all the way to CFII and what everything that means and the differences between what he has to do to get done what he needs to get done and what I need to do to get done what I need to get done. We'll get to that in a bit.
So guys, today we are going to tell you how to become a pilot in India and in the United States. So I'm going to tell you what are the processes that I've been through, and she's going to tell you what are the processes that she's been through to become a commercial pilot. So the first thing to start with is the education qualification that you need to have to become a pilot. So in India, you have to be 12th pass with your maths and physics. And if you don't have your maths and physics in your 12th standard, if you are a commerce student, then also you can become a pilot by going through NIOS. That's a free school exam, and you can go and opt for maths and physics and pass your exam. But for me, as I'm an Indigo cadet, I need 55% to get into the program. But for a conventional way, you need just the passing marks to get into a flight school. So how is it in your country, Jessica?
So sometimes it does vary by flight school and what they're looking for and what they desire. My flight school, you can just be straight out of high school and start flight training. College degree isn't necessarily required to get in. For me, I do have my college degree, so I got my bachelor's degree, and then I worked for a little bit in broadcast, and I decided that I wanted to jump into flight school. So really the main thing that flight schools are looking for in you is, number one, your desire to fly. Two, how persevering do these people think that you will be once you're faced with adversity in your flight training? Because flight training is, I'm sure you can agree, it's not always easy. There are those hard moments where you're going to need to have that tenacity to overcome those obstacles. So they're looking for your passion for aviation, your passion for flying. They're looking for to see if you're going to be disciplined in your work, if you're going to stick through it to the very end and finish out what you intended to start to do. So if you want to start flight training in America and you're a citizen such as myself, you need to be at least 16 years old to apply for a student pilot certificate. And once you get that student pilot certificate, that's when, as long as you have, your medical and your government issued ID, most cases people will have the driver's license. That's when you can really begin your flight training with your instructor.
So now that we are done with the education qualification, we move forward to the medical standards that you need to have to become a pilot. So the first thing in India you need to do is to make your class 2 medical done. So there are few doctors assigned by the DGCA, that is the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, who conduct class 2 medicals. And once you're done with your class 2 medicals, in your class 2 medicals, the checkups are very basic. They check your everything, your blood, your urine, your health, like basic thing. And after you get your class 2 medicals, you go to DGCA, you submit your certificate, and you then take a date from DGCA to go for a class 1 medical. And this class 1 medical is conducted by the Indian Air Force, which is situated in Delhi and few other places. And there are 2 hospitals also, which is designated by the DGCA to conduct the class 1 medical. So that one I think is in Mumbai, Nanavati, and another is Apollo Hospital. So once you're done with your class 1 medical, now you are fit and fine to fly. What about it's in your country?
So in America, it's completely different. We have 3 types of medicals: first class, second class, and third class. And we also have something called basic med, but that's an entirely different topic. And for the sake of time, I won't get too much into that. But pretty much summarize real quick what you're going to do if you want to embark on flight training. You will need to get that medical certificate. You need a minimum, or the lowest you can get is your third class medical certificate. if you're serious about doing flight training on a full-time basis. And what you're going to do in order to get that is that you're going to look at, okay, where are you living? Use your zip code to find what is called a aviation medical examiner. These are people that are specifically, their job is to specifically analyze you to see if you are mentally and physically competent to be in control of aircraft. So, look to see aviation medical examiner near me, plug in your zip code. There should be a list that pops up that shows, people that are in your area. Book an appointment, go to them, and then they'll give you the full physical examination that they need to go through. You'll go through a lot. I'm sure it's similar for you.
Yeah,
they look at like your eyesight,
yeah.
your hearing.
Yep.
They look to see if you have, I guess,
your weight,
yeah,
your BMI.
your weight. Yeah, your weight, and do you have any chronic, medical issues? Like, do you have diabetes? Do you have asthma? Things like that. And then I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
They also test for drugs.
Yeah.
You will be having to do a urine test there as well. So some similarities as far as what they're looking for the medical certificate. But as far as who we go to in America, just find your aviation medical examiner.
Okay. So what about? So most of you guys would be thinking, can a guy or a girl with glasses become a pilot? So many people have been asking me this question. So yes, you can become a pilot with your glasses, but your eyes should be corrective 6x6 after wearing your glasses.
Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit more into the world of how do we document the things that we're doing throughout our flight training. So in America, we have something called Niagara, but you have something completely different in terms of, you guys need to register for
computer number,
for any type of written exam and other things. So let's go ahead and start with you first.
So now that we are done with the education qualification and medicals, now you need to apply for your DGCA exams. So there are basically 5 exams that you need to give, and they are navigation, regulations, metrology, tech specific and tech general. And before you give this exams, you need to apply for a computer number. So that you can keep a record of what exams you pass and what exams you fail. So if you want to pass all those 5 exams in one go, you need to take a coaching. So there are a lot of coaching centers in Dwarka that you can go to. You can do your own research and talk to your friends and other pilots that have done the coaching. So basically you can study metrology on your own, but for navigation, regulations, tech specific and tech general, I would suggest personally to take a coaching, because the teacher has got a much better idea about how the papers come in the examination. So it will be easy. And moreover, all these 5 exams are conducted 4 times in 1 year. And there is one extra exam for your radio, that is called RTR, radio telephony, for your radio license. And that exam is conducted every 6 times in 1 year. So you have got plenty of time to pass those exams. If you don't pass in one go, you can try second time, you can try third time, and there is no restrictions on giving the exams. You can try plenty of times until and unless you don't pass the exam. So that's how it goes. Now the real thing comes about choosing a flight school. So there are 2 different parts. The first is conventional way in India, and the other is cadet program. So for me, I'm an Indigo cadet pilot. So I didn't have to find my flight school and do all the stress work. It was my airline.
Easy.
So it was my airline that was attached to a flight school. And for you guys who want to do it conventional, you have to find a flight school in India. So there are various flight schools, that some good flight schools and some bad flight schools. So on that thing, you have to do your own research, talk to your friends, talk to other pilots, like how they do and where did they go and how it is like in your country.
So in America, you will have to do a lot more homework and a lot more personal research as far as what flight school is best for you. Even beyond the discussion of proximity, how close is the flight school to you that you can just drive to every day or whatever your schedule's like. You have to do your research and think about, are you a person that wants to do your flight training pay as you go type of thing? You want to do your flight training in terms of on your pace, on your type of schedule, where you can practice as many times as you want before you get submitted to take, your official FAA check ride. Or are you a person who's, wanting to get everything done maybe a little bit faster? That's kind of your Part 141 operations, which is what our school is. You kind of have, deadlines to meet in this type of training environment. You only have so many lessons to do before you get submitted to take that check ride. And I think that's something that people shouldn't necessarily underestimate. Don't be in such a rush to, I've got to get, private, my instrument, my commercial, my CFI, my CFII, my multi-engine, add-on. Think about what's best for you. Be honest with yourself too, because, you have a pretty strict curriculum to adhere to as well, as far as, meeting timeliness and goals.
So after finding your best flight school like us, L3 Harris is the best, I think.
Obviously.
So after finding a flight school, you need to have 200 hours of flying before getting into an airline. So it's pretty much different in United States. So she's gonna brief you all about it.
Yeah, I won't spend too much time on it. I'm sure that if you've come this far in the video, you've already done some homework in terms of, what if you want to fly for an American airline. You're born and you were like, I need to fly for Delta or American or United. That's my ultimate goal. So I will say this, we are in a very unconventional time to do flight training and to be applying for jobs at the airlines, be it a major or regional in America. I'll say this much. It used to be, you get your 1,500 hours and you can, boom, you're ready to go off to the airlines. Now, not so much. My recommendation for now would be to look at if you're wanting to fly for a specific entity, whether it's an airline or maybe on the corporate scheme of things, you're probably going to have to look more into as far as what are they specifically looking for. Something that I've noticed is that a lot of these airlines, a lot of these companies have changed their hour requirements. Some of them are looking.
I think because of this current situation of Corona.
Correct. Okay. So I think some of them are looking, to see if you have a specific amount of time in multi-engine, how much IMC, instrument meteorological condition times or flight time that you have, where there was zero visibility outside the plane. I think you're just going to have to do a little bit more in-depth homework in terms of what each separate airline is now looking for you to be eligible to apply to them.
So guys, now that we talked about the flying school, and after clearing your DGCA exams and after getting your 200 hours of flying, and for them it is like 1,500 hours of flying, now it's the time to get into an airline. So before you get into an airline, you have to do a type rating, which is like training for a bigger aircraft, like for Airbus A320 or for a Boeing. So it depends on airline to airline that which type of type rating you're going to do. For me, as I'm Indigo cadet pilot, there is already set path. Like after completing my CPL in the United States, I'm going back to India, converting my license to an Indian CPL, and after that I'm going for my type rating. So now that I've got my 200 hours, I have to do my type rating from Thailand, and I have to stay there for 3 months. And after completing my type rating successfully for the Airbus A320, I'm gonna get inducted by the Indigo Airlines. But for the people who are doing it conventional, they have to find a separate school to do their type rating. So, and after they complete their type rating, they have to wait for the vacancy of the airline. So it takes around 1 year or 2 years, depends on the situation. For as of now, the situation is quite bad. The airlines are not hiring right now. So it depends on the situation whether you have to wait for 1 month, 2 months or 2 years. But for us, that we have a fixed path, and after completing our type rating, I'm gonna get inducted with the airline. So how it is different in your country?
So it's to my understanding that for most type ratings that you're pursuing, the airline that you signed the contract with will be providing that training before you actually start flying passengers and whatnot. I think that's pretty much done how it's like done here. I don't know of any schools here that offer where you can, get your type rating on. If you know, I guess, of anyone that handles type ratings specifically, I think that's really more of an airline and corporate type of thing here, where they handle.
So this was all about how to become a pilot in India and the United States. I think we have covered most of the topics, and if you feel I didn't cover any topic, you can ask me any question or any doubts you have about this video in the comments below. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook with the name IKANFLY. You can DM me, you can text me, and I'm always ready to help, and I'm always happy to help. And what about you?
Yeah, so today is just kind of like a pretty quick summary overview as far as how to kind of get started. If there's any topic that we covered today that you want to go more in depth, leave a comment below, or if there's something that we didn't touch on at all, also leave a comment below, and then maybe we'll be able to brief that in another video. You can find me on Instagram. I am Pilot Jessica Sophia, so that's pilot_Jessica_Sophia, SOPHIA on Instagram.
Cool. Do share, like, and subscribe, and whatever you can do, just spread this video.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
In terms of love, you know what? Scratch that.
It's quite slow.
I know, that's why I did that.
Yeah.
So, there's a delay. All right, hold on. I'm just gonna I'm doing this.